Hello, guys. Wow, sorry for the mic. Hello. Hi. How's it going, guys? Can you hear me? No technical difficulty. Let me share on Twitter. Going live in 3, 2, 1, and tweet. Okay, tweet has been posted. Hey, guys. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Thanks for somebody that gave me one like. Like this live streaming. Okay. So, guess what time it is? Oh, for those who are catching this later, I'm sorry I didn't give you any notification beforehand. I just decided hey, I'm Random Yoko. Let's do a random live streaming. And here I am at, guess what time it is? Time. Any guess for what time it is? You're all wrong. 1 in the morning on a Sunday night. And today in my prefecture, this Sunday it's midnight, so this day just started, but today I'm not allowed to go out if it's non-essential or whatever. We are expected to stay home. The governor said so. Yes, Sunday morning. Yes, it's 1 in the morning. And I'm sorry if I'm speaking in a quiet tone, but that is because my husband is sleeping right now in the next room. We have only 2 rooms in this really tiny place. And this is just my husband's stuff, so never mind it. Okay. So I just thought let's hang out. I have nothing to say actually, but because if I don't know how you are here, but I'm very active on Twitter and I tweet all the time pretty much. So follow me at Random Yoko. Random Yoko. And I'm tweeting a bunch. And on Facebook, I'm usually active, but right now I am actually banned for a week from the posts from 2013. It's 7 years ago now. Isn't it ridiculous? I wish that they would just ask me, one of you actually reach out to me and said oh yeah, it would be a nice idea if Facebook could ask us before we post something, are you sure? Are you sure you want to tweet this because this violates this guideline or standards or whatever like that? And years later, it's bam, you're screwed. You can't post. Me, this case, this time, I can't post for a week. I can still see the timeline and so on, but I can't use Messenger this time. So that's a bummer. And let me read your comments. Yes. Ooh. Yes. You are getting tested? Hello from Brazil. Brazil, there was some news about Brazil here. That the Brazilian president said let's use Japan as a good example. Let's not collapse our economy. And he said something like that. And our left bias media translated that wrong and said oh, it's Japan's virus or something like that. They put the wrong translation. They do that sometimes. So yeah, good morning to you. And what do I want to talk about? I don't know, you tell me. You think that I'm here to entertain you? No, you entertain me. こんばんは. Hello from France. How is France? It's Europe is wow. It's getting severe here in Japan as well. Just as my friend Michael Yan right now, who is right now in Thailand, he keeps warning me like, stock up, buy food, buy water. But the thing is that in Japan, though, our water would never stop. And usually we can drink the tap water. The water here is excellent. You can just drink. That's a weird sound to drink. The drinking sound is wrong, but you know what I mean. You're from New York. What do you think of the US in their handling of the coronavirus? I think they are doing the best they can. I'm not really sure about the whole lockdown thing, like what kind of effect it has, like economically and so on. But it's needed. From the news that I saw from the US, I think that was in New York, that policemen are getting the virus. And then if that happens, then the crime rate will go up, right? And I really don't want that to happen. And lockdown might be the only option. And I think the government is handling it very well, especially like economically as well. Oh, thank you for the money or the super chat thing. Thank you so much. And let me finish first. What was I saying? The New York and the government. And yeah, because right now in Japan, we are expecting our government to declare the emergency state. And they fixed that system, like they passed the law or whatever, and now we are able to go like emergency state. Not happening for some reason. But what my guess right now is that it will happen in Tokyo or like in Osaka or wherever the situation is severe. I think that the local areas will do like separately instead of our nation at the same time, even though the government should, take the initiative. So let's read the green thing. My girlfriend wants kids and I don't want kids, but when I'm drunk and my girl is done, she just what? What is this? Wait, is this serious? Like, I'm sorry for laughing. It's just you caught me off guard, just like you were caught off guard, So right, when you're drunk, she does that. It depends on the relationship though, right? Like, I don't know how much you love the girl. Like, actually, I should talk about my relationship a little bit, or like, my romance situation and so on. I'm obviously married now, but before I got married or before I met my man, I used to think I never want kids, like ever. Like, no, like me and kids, like, ugh, like I used to feel like, But that is because one thing is I hated myself back then. I was super depressed due to the education here. Like, we learn like how awful our country was, like especially during the World War II and so on. And then what that makes you is like you start hating your country, and then you realize, oh, I'm part of the country, like I'm the citizen. So then, like, you don't want to leave your offsprings, right? So that's part of a reason. And I was also depressed. I just hated myself. Like, I was one of those emo kids, with listening to heavy metal and death metal and growling in a band. I was one of those wearing all black and so on. And so that's one. And another thing is that I thought that I had many boyfriends actually, because I like men. Okay, don't judge me. But then each time I thought like, oh, he's the one. I love him. But then I didn't want kids. And now that I've met my own man, I'm like, I want his kids. Like, that easily it changes you. Like, I didn't know that I wanted to become a mother. That's something that I've been realizing over the past years that, wow, I'm a female and I want to be a mom. I want to be like my mother, who is amazing to me and our family. And yeah, so it depends on how much you love your girlfriend. Okay. Yeah. You're depressed about everything? Oh, please. Why? Life is fun. When I'm depressed, what I do is I play like a life simulation game. I go on Second Life. I go on Avakin Life and whatever life out there that you can play on a computer or cell phones. And my favorite right now is Avakin Life. And over there, it's basically like mostly teenagers looking for fun. And it's so funny because on Avakin Live, it's a game, simulating game, but it's like it's basically like a chat rooms, but you create an avatar and you can go to places, And I go there, and the game prohibits you from talking about sexual things or YouTuber thing because it provide links, and so they block a lot of things. There are lots of censoring, yet they somehow verbally have sex there. I'm like, what? Somebody asked me like, hey, so have you ever done it? I'm like, what do you mean, like verbally? No thanks, like in English is not my native language, so I'm pretty sure I'm busy like thinking ahead instead of feeling, and it's just wrong. I'm married. So okay. Oh, thank you, Justin, for you put so much money. Thank you so much. That means a lot. Okay, let's read. Unfortunately, I've run into some Japan haters that claim Japan is unapologetic for their past action during the World War II and prior. Yes, you live in Japan, and let's discuss this so we will be more informed. I love Japan and Kubo Ibuki. Kubo Ibuki, our ship. That's awesome. Thank you, Justin. Yes, that's something that... Yes. So where do I even begin? There are lots of Japan haters, but you know what? I used to think like it's mostly coming from China and South Korea. And I used to talk about it a lot when I first woke up to this political things, like political sense. When I woke up, I was like, oh wow, there are arguments like this, like some countries are accusing Japan for being evil and whatever. And I was like, you know what, I'm Japanese, but I'm gonna talk back and discuss. But right now, like a lot happened. I fought a lot in the information war, and now I came to realize, thanks to the people I met through this political activities, that those negative campaign, like a propaganda war against Japan, is all coming from basically communists. That's as simple as that. And it's been happening since before the World War II. And so, for example, American president at the time, Roosevelt, the bad Roosevelt, was brainwashed by those Chinese communists and so on. And there were spies from Soviet Union, and like we were actually fighting against communists, or I mean, we should have, but we kind of got trapped. Sorry if I'm not making sense, but right now, let's say that right now, what you hear, like all this negative campaign against Japan, like saying that Japan was bad during the World War II and so on, it's all basically coming from China. Let's conclude as that. Yeah, so there are issues like comfort women issue and the Nanking massacre argument. And yeah, all these things, but now China lies. But by China, I mean the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, the government right now. They are the bad guys, and their ultimate goal is to divide the alliance that we have, like South Korea and America or Japan and South Korea or Japan and the US. If Japan is the bad guy, nobody wants to team up with us. And what happens to Asia? What happens to the Pacific Ocean? China can come in. So this is just information war. But this is the aim of our information war is not the information war. At least for the CCP, their goal is to conquer the world, right? They have the dream to build their empire, and the whatever propaganda that's out there against Japan is actually the tactic that they have to divide us all so that they can take over, that sort of thing. Okay. Oh, lots of comments. Thank you, guys. Let me catch up a little bit. Yeah. By the way, I make weirds. I make weird sounds when I read comments. I'm so sorry. Yeah. The virus, where the virus comes from and so on. There is the argument about the bioweapon and so on. I try not to care about it much right now because it doesn't really make any difference right now, in my opinion. But it's important to research that though. And some people say like I had a spiritual friend who no longer is my friend for some reason. Like she cut the connection out of the blue just because I'm friends with her ex and so on, and she just wanted to cut the whole relationships. And she doesn't know politics much, but she has the good sense. And what she was writing recently, I kind of stalked her online and wondered what she's up to now. And she was writing like, oh, all these things are happening. Each nations are establishing a system to fight against this virus. And how she views is that each nation is getting prepared for the World War III. I'm like, I don't know. From what I learned from history, it's the appeasement that creates war. Like there's a limit of what you can compromise, and when you hit the last bit, then war. So I really don't know what people mean by the World War III. It's like people are trying to create the chaos, Yeah. Right now, by the way, I just randomly remembered like people are watching China's situation, but as for China, let's not only look at the virus, but also let's not forget about what they have been doing throughout in Asia, like Tibet, Uyghur, Southern Mongolia, Taiwan, Hong Kong. Even Hong Kongers are fighting today and nobody talks about it. Speaking of which, our friend, Dr. Jason Morgan, actually wrote this article for the AmericanConservative.com, or I forgot the name, but I actually have the link in the description box. I have several links, but I think fifth or sixth one is the article. And he wrote about the nomination of Andy Chan, our Hong Konger friend, like the nomination for the Nobel Peace Prize 2020 this year. And people are fighting. Hong Kongers are fighting, and we should not forget about it. And another thing is that right now, you should look into what's happening in North Korea. China might not, there's a higher possibility of China collapsing, but China is strong, right? Like Xi Jinping is really powerful in China. So it's hard, even though we should push the collapse, because they are the last colonizer and so on. But what's realistic is North Korea. The North Korean situation is really weird. And at the same time, Russia. Never forget Russia. Me being Japanese, I do not like Russia. I am sorry if there are Russians, but what they do politically against Japan It's like enemy to us. They stole our islands, Northern Islands issue. Man, look it up. Our government has information. So I rambled, but let's go on. My sister, yay! I'm your sister, sister, like Japanese style. I like to watch like stand-up comedians, at night, like before I go to sleep. I wanna laugh, wanna end the day in a good mood and watch stand-up sometimes. And do you guys have you ever heard of this Filipino guy named Yoko? you know, he mocks Japanese and also like Filipino and Vietnamese and like all these Asian groups. And he was like, Japanese man, and it was so funny. You should look it up. Jokoi, like Joko. Yeah. And oh yeah, Kubo Ibuki is the manga. Yes, I think I saw the movie actually. And the last scene was awful. And first of all, I think the enemy that's depicted in the movie Ibuki, I believe that was supposed to be the enemy was supposed to be China, but it was some imaginary enemy. Like they made up the name and so on because political correctness. So yep. Wait. Comments disappeared. Okay. It's been many years. Oh, am I still doing music? Not really. I want to, but I'm a perfectionist, and that's the problem. I can like right now I could play for you, but like I have a keyboard right here, but I'm such a perfectionist, and I stopped creating music. I sometimes make political songs, but that's about it. Yeah, I want to do covers, but I need to remember the whole thing accurately. I mean, that's what I try to do. So you never get things done if your mindset is like that. And Russia confirmed you never get your islands back. They are not gonna return our islands. No, we have to go into war. And actually, a politician from here, like he's a National Diet member, who's in the 30s, very young, and he was once drunk on a work trip to those areas, like where the islands that were stolen by Russia. He was visiting there, and he said he was drunk, so that was a problem. But he was like, maybe we should think about the option to go into war to think about this Northern Islands issue. And everybody bashed him like so crazy. The media, the mainstream media here, left biased. So everybody was bashing him. And I believe he had to leave his party. Yeah. So I don't know, man. Sometimes you have to fight for what you have or what you love. But people don't like the idea of a war for some reason. Even animals fight for their life. And somehow humans are not supposed to. I don't know. Man, it's kind of cold right now. So let me put my... it's so crazy. Like in the daytime, it's not cold. But let me put this. Isn't this cute? Kawaii, right? Haha. I can't see. Yeah. And whenever I do stuff like this, Japanese people are like, stop it, you're in the 30s, man. Like, you're old. Don't do those stuff. That's painful to watch. Blah, blah, blah. I hate the side of the Japanese, like, really self-censoring and so on. Just, bleh. Okay, sorry. It's just cold. Okay. What else? Chinese hates every country. I don't know. Maybe Yoko is a brave voice shouting above the wolves. Ow! Okay. Well, yes, Japan is not really. I don't know what. So somebody said like, oh, the person realized that Japan was not evil during the World War II after blah blah blah. But it's what's interesting is what decides the good and bad. Like everybody back in the day, they all had some kind of idea that they wanted to go after, and now we are in the future from them and think like, oh, that was bad and so on, and that happens, and at the same time we are like so thankful that those people fought for what we have today, and it's like complicated feelings. Yeah. China and South Korea need to move on. I agree. And the funny thing is, it's mostly left driven, in South Korea and China. China is kind of tricky because, everything is censored there, especially about Japan. Like the government uses Japan to blind the people from the frustration that they have towards their own government. Whenever there are things like complicated, frustrating things inside of China, the government starts talking about Japan. We are such a tool, and that is the siren outside here, so it's not yours. Okay, so yeah, dominate the entire region. China's power is growing, US power is declining. That's what I fear, man. So right now, this virus is actually like a suicide by the CCP, in my opinion, because they didn't handle it well. And they right now probably feel like, oh, now all the countries are damaged. Even did you see the UK, the Prime Minister Johnson, right? Boris Johnson? He's infected, right? And all these countries are in danger, and maybe China is thinking like, oh, maybe it's our chance to expand our territory or whatever. But it's like the whole world now knows what kind of leadership China has, like dictatorship and all this lies, basically lying government who is even killing and suffocating their own citizens. And the world is learning what CCP does. And that's really a good opportunity for us. And I really think that we need to stop China now. Like it's like our first and last opportunity for us to fight against CCP altogether. If we miss this opportunity to let CCP does whatever, like let them get back to what they were doing, then this scenario that somebody left a comment here saying like China's power grows and America's declines, and we will create that picture. In order to stop that from happening, we need to fight against CCP now. And now, like, we need to focus our energy into it. And some people say like, oh, it's the time for us to unite and fight against this virus and stop blaming China and blah blah blah. Like logically it makes sense that now is a time to think about people, but you're only looking at the present. You're not looking at the future if you say stuff like that. Like China is not nice at all. Like, I mean, the CCP, they will get to you, like I've seen it in Asia. It's really, really horrible. Just look up what's happening in Tibet, Uyghur, Southern Mongolia. You don't even hear about Southern Mongolia anymore because I think 80 or 90% of Mongolians there are replaced with like Chinese people now. So and when they do like ethnic cleansing and so on, like, and lots of genocide and horrible. And okay, and I'm shaky, so sorry for that. Our, like, not air conditioner, the heater thing is only in another room, so I'm shaking over here. It's the CCP virus. I agree. It's the CCP virus. And what are we talking about? I just joined. Oh, hey, you joined Random Yoko. So this is random. I'm just reading comments and just talking, rambling, and just hanging out. I like to watch live streaming videos, actually. I usually watch like spiritual channels, though, surprisingly, because I like positive people. Yep. Greater China. This is the people in the dominated region. Thank you so much, Justin. Thank you. Greater China. Yes, CCP really wants to take over our land. I actually have Michael Pillsbury's book, like 2049. It's like 100-year marathon, right? Should I bring? I don't know, but it's a thick book, which I actually haven't read. But Michael Pillsbury, I believe, worked for CIA or something, and he exposes the CCP's agenda and so on. Yoko, what do you think of multiculturalism? It's a tough question to Japanese, actually, because a lot of people in the world misunderstand Japan and somehow think that just because we're one, like, Japanese race for the most part. There are lots of Koreans, like 600,000? 600,000 Koreans living in Japan and so on, because due to the World War II aftermath. But mostly Japanese, and people somehow think that our culture is like so Japanese only. But actually, the Japaneseness comes from the tolerance of other cultures. Like, first of all, our religion, for example, our original one is called Shinto, but we are also Buddhists, so it's like mixed together. And I don't know, it's all Japanese is we just swallow different cultures and say, I don't know, not say, but like create our own. And so I'm not, like, I think what we need to do is to define what culturalism is. We need to define the word so that we can talk. I think that there can be a misunderstanding. Well, thank you for thinking about our country, that Japan was just, living the World War II. Wait. Sometimes this comment section just like goes up. I'm like, where was I? Maybe go to the bottom. Yeah. Yes, I don't think that America should withdraw from every place, Yes, we have enemies, common enemies, and we really need to. It's all about balance. Balance of power. Yeah, the term. Balance of power. So, what else? No. Germany become picture. Germany. Germany. Germany is like, I'm not familiar with Europe. Can you guys believe it? All I know is Asia and America, and Europe is like so far, and I want to know, but so far, and I'm pretty sure that it's mutual, and that's actually something that we need to learn from in history. Like, I think that a lot of problems in the world today could have been prevented if Asia or Japan, especially, and Europe were communicating well. You know. Mm. My husband was like, just dreaming. Uh, organ harvesting, yes, in Uyghur. That's really awful. They sell their organs. Yeah, yeah. Awful things happening, man. Just out of curiosity, Justin asks, could you break down your spiritual beliefs? I believe in a creator, but I have no religious affiliation. Oh, my beliefs is that my belief is Shinto. In English, it would be Shintoism, but it basically means that a spirit lives in every little thing. Like, for example, this phone there's a spirit living in this, and I have a cup here. This has some kind of spirit or soul, that it has consciousness and that sort of things, and that yeah, and that's how, like, we believe that everything is alive, in a sense, that everything has a spirit living in it. So that's where our politeness comes from. That we have you ever heard of mottainai culture? It was actually praised by the world. I think African woman praised. I don't remember well, but we don't waste our foods or materials and so on. We try to recycle and so on. Not happening perfectly, but mostly, like, as our mind, it's our mindset, right? And that's coming from, because everything has a spirit or a soul, and we should respect that. Right? And also, I believe in the world that we cannot see. So especially our ancestors. I actually have there's a shelf up here, a place, and we have a little mini shrine thing. Like, we have, like, it's like this size, and we have the thing looks like shrine pretty much, and we even have like a plants too along it, so it really looks like a shrine. And we have our ancestor names next to it, and also inside of that we have the names of, actually, it's something spiritual that I can't really explain in short, but these things of our goddish figures, like divine figures, papers inside of that, and we're like every day, like, oh, thank you for this life and so on. And also, I always talk to our ancestors, and especially now that I'm married, I am talking to the ancestors of my husband, and always wish for their happiness so that they can watch us over. And surprisingly, after I started to do this only like 2 years ago or so, even back home at my parents' house, everything just started to work out. Like, I was the last person to believe in spirituality. Like, I believed in energies, but I didn't really believe in like ghosts or dead people talking to you and so on. Like, I didn't never ever believe in that. Like, why? Like, I really believed in science, but after experiencing lots of things like coincidence and what you call like what's that? What's the word? Synchronicity. yeah, lots of that. I started to pay attention to that sort of things, like with open mind. And then I started to realize, like, oh, maybe like we don't have to define, right? And well, maybe there is the world, that world that, because especially as I told you earlier, I like simulator game, like you create your life on the internet and you create your avatar, you prepare your home online and so on. And whenever I play that sort of game, simulation game, I'm like, this is what I do with this world. That's the sense that I have. So this Asian body, this Japanese body, is my avatar that I carefully picked, even these zits. And I don't know. I just feel like it. I'm a soul living in this body, and once I'm done, I'm like, bye-bye. Leave and go back to wherever I was and so on. So and believing that actually makes me feel much lighter, because not everything is because of me. Meaning that you can't take the credit of everything at the same time, but all the things that you thought that was your fault becomes like, oh, it's the divine powers, guiding us. Then, oh, I can only focus on the things right in front of me and stuff like that. So, yeah, I ranted so much. Sorry. Oh, yeah, interesting. About 60% Japanese identify themselves as Shintoists, yet there are another 60% of Buddhists. So obviously, some of them overlap each other. Yes, actually, I think it's Meiji era, like when Japan started to pay attention to the threats. It was threats to us, okay? Don't judge us. We thought like, oh, we need to, modernize our nation as well. And so at that time, so we started to have the military and so on, and our emperor started to be dressed as Western costumes and so on, like dress and so on, instead of our traditional kimono style. And when that happened, our religion was also divided. At that time, everything was just mixed together, right? Temple and shrines, like Buddhism and Shinto, all mixed together. But around that time, they were split, and just our culture started to change around that time. So a lot of conservatives, those who really deeply think about conservatism, wonder like what really happened around that time. Like, why did they destroy our culture that much? So yeah, but yeah, we are both Buddhists and Shintoists. And what's funny is that we celebrate Christmas and also maybe some others. I don't know. Like, we celebrate anything fun. And there's actually a huge problem. Halloween in Tokyo. Have you ever heard of this place called Shibuya? Oh man, on Halloweens, lots of idiots, man. People, young kids dress up in costumes and come to the city. It's so packed and problems happen. Ah, man. Yeah. Okay. What else? Boom. Sorry, I am reading. Oh, somebody is from Hong Kong. Yay! So glad you are alive. Man, a Hong Kong situation is so like, I want to help, but I don't know. I think that awareness is very important. Really, like at the beginning of this year, I thought like this year should be devoted for Hong Kong again. but this virus is blinding us. And I'm like, to CCP, I'm like, watching you, the whole thing you're doing. Yeah. And what else? Shizuoka. Wow, Joseph. Greetings from Shizuoka. Greetings from Fukuoka. We're not allowed to go outside anymore. Just a request. So my friend that I live stream with on Mondays, he was like, "Oh, it's just a request." Like, although he's very much aware, he's like, "I will go to places if needed," which is actually okay. But he says in a tone like, "I'm gonna go out anyway," like a resistant kind of thing, because he wants the government to declare emergency state. あら、日本人がいた。クリックしたが英語ばかりでさっぱり。すいません。A Japanese person came in and the person was like, "Oh, it's Yoko. Clicked. It's all in English." It's midnight, man. Why are you awake? Why am I awake? Why am I awake? I don't know. I want awake. I was in the dark. Na, 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 na. Katy Perry. I covered it on Random Yoko channel years ago. I was young. I didn't know that she was liberal. I was actually liberal too, so yeah. Catholic. Oh, speaking of Catholic and Protestant, Japanese people don't know the difference much. I feel like when we hear Christian, it's just Christian, and we're not familiar. And I should study more too, man. This is a face of feeling ashamed. Yeah. I saw you covered Symphony X. Thank you. Yeah, Symphony X is so cool. So cool. It's like, I want to headbang, but I don't want to. I don't want to cause any damage here. Yeah. What else? Hello from Los Angeles. Los Angeles. I actually don't know the pronunciation. Just realized that. Los Angeles. Is that correct? Los Angeles. People just say like LA, and I'm used to it. So, how's the situation in America? Is it like the East Coast is severely damaged and West Coast is not as bad, or is it developing? Somebody let me know. Hello from upstate New York. Hello. Are you guys alive? I mean, obviously. Such a dumb question, man. Sorry. I was thinking of, New York reminds me of like snow. So much snow. It's so cold there. That's the image that I have. And just remembered that today, it's right now 2 a.m. here in Japan. And today it's supposed, I don't know about now. I saw the weather forecast saying that it might snow like really heavily. It might heavily snow in Tokyo today. And people were saying like, "Oh, we are quarantined anyway, so it doesn't matter, blah." But seriously, if the snow is severe, that can cause other problems. So I'm a little bit worried. Yeah, it was gonna get warm, and now it's back to cold again. And like, Random Yoko too. Why is the Japanese birth rate low? Because the economy is bad. As simple as that. Like people around me or my age, people want to have kids. but we can't because we think too much. Because we calculate a lot of things economically, like, oh, if we have a baby now, then it will cost us like this, and in a few years it will be this, and when the kid grows up to be university age, it's like so much calculation, right? And right now the economy is like, it's like what's happening, I think, is that guys can't afford a date. In Japan, surprisingly, our dating culture is so conservative, right? And so guys pay. It's guys' treat to go on a date. It's the manliness to pay for the meal and so on. And that's something that girls find attractive. Like, oh, I can rely on this guy. Maybe he can be the father of my kid. That sort of things. And the guys can, the guys want to tough up and show the manliness and prosperity or whatever. But right now, our economy is not letting the man do that. So before birth rate, people are getting married, but yeah, people cannot have kids. And foreign people often don't get satisfied with that answer and like overread the situation, thinking that there must be something else, because that's just weird, right? Maybe in your country, but no, it's just our culture is that men is the leader. Men are the leader. They, like, women just follow them, like traditional style. And yeah, I don't know if that makes sense to you. If you have any follow-up question, ask me. You're alive. That's good. My town is locked down. Only grocery store and gas stations is open. Oh, but what else do you need, though? Somebody was saying on Twitter that this Japanese guy that lives in New York was saying, like, oh, you can't go to a haircut place. I guess it's tough for guys, right? But me, I don't go to a haircut place at all. Maybe once a year or something. And I have long hair, not because some people misunderstand it as that, oh, Yoko takes care of her hair and whatever. How do you treat your hair? I just do nothing. I'm so lazy that, like, I wash my hair, right? But oh my god, I go to the haircut place? Not happening. It's luxury. And only you can go to grocery store and gas station. I'm like, the only place I go to is grocery store on a daily basis before the virus. So it's I'm an introvert, I guess. I'm social, but I really love to stay home. It's so safe here. Yeah. Yeah, I know about Hong Kong. Teenagers are mysteriously dying, and the government or police, they say like, oh, it's suicide or something like that. That they are. I can tell that those people are killed, but it's hidden. So yeah, we really need to do something about Hong Kong situation, really. So for that, I really want you to support Andy Chan, our friend. He cannot say much now because his political party was dissolved, and he can't do political activities, because whenever he does that, he gets arrested and so on. But people know, Hong Kongers know what he states. And he is now the candidate for the Nobel Peace Prize this year. And I put all the important links in the description box of this live streaming, so check them out. So we need to make sure that we have the awareness in the entire world. What is your quarantine food? Rice. Right? My husband and I, we were seriously thinking about what food do we need. Like our friend Michael Yan, on the live streaming and even in the emails, he keeps telling us, like, get food, stock up, right? So military, yeah. But what do we need as Japanese? Rice. Right? And rice, we live with, like, two of us live here, right? Alone. So if we get like a huge bag, then it lasts for like a half a year or something, I think. Yeah. So rice and maybe miso, our traditional thing that we make soup with. That's pretty much it, I think. And we got canned food. Yeah. And what else? And also like dried wakame, like seaweed and so on, dried ones. Dried stuff is so convenient, man. So we have stuff like that. And I'm still thinking about what to get in case. But the grocery stores will be open though. I don't know. And yeah, I don't know. What do you guys buy? I'm really curious, like how people are spending the time. Oh wait, again the chat went go up. Oh yeah. Oh, we are hanging out for like an hour, man. That's great. Thanks for hanging out with me. Oh, if you are not following me on Twitter, follow me at Random Yoko. If I'm not here, I'm tweeting. If I'm not sleeping. But I sleep a lot though. The Olympics will be postponed now. I think by a year. Yeah, finally. I can't believe that our government kept, following this dream of the Olympics. What Prime Minister Abe is thinking is to make Tokyo Olympics as the symbol of, I don't know the word. Like, actually, let me look it up because it's very important. Something. Like there was World War II, but then we stood up again and we had the Tokyo Olympics in the 60s, was it? It's called Fukkou Eigo. In English, it is called Reconstruction, Revival, Renaissance. You get the idea. Oh, so like recovery, reconstruction. Prime Minister Abe wants the Olympics to be the symbol of that. And so before this virus, we were all thinking about the earthquake, like around Fukushima. I'm sure that you have heard of the place named Fukushima, where the nuclear accident happened. And that was like our idea, like, oh, reconstruction and recovery of that. But now we have virus problem, and both Prime Minister Abe and President Trump are saying that we need to win, right? Win. And we need to win, and we will recover. And after that, as the proof of that, Prime Minister Abe said, as a proof of that, we want to have the Olympics in a complete state, like all the countries joining together, like in a complete situation. We want to have the Olympics. So yeah, there were lots of political things, yeah, I'm not gonna go into that. It will complicate things. But yeah, so the Olympics is happening. But now that it's postponed, the government is finally taking the initiative more. So that's good. Yeah, all these political things. Yeah, never mind. Okay, away. Somebody wrote Random Yoko. Where did it go? I hear that a lot of Japanese men don't want to have sex. Is that true? I have no idea. It's like, it's what, you know what's interesting? There are those who keep getting married even after they get divorced. And there are, meanwhile, there are others who never get married. Like, there's this big difference in our society that some people are so active and so like they want to get married and start a family and they keep resetting and so on. But there are other kinds of people that just can't take the first step and so on. So I really can't generalize anything, even though I guess you can always go to statistics, but I am not sure. Yeah, but again, guys can't ask girls out anymore due to economy. So, yeah. Oh, my hair is fine. Thank you. My hair is so like it was wet and then I had tied it up in a wet state, so it's like poof. No, it's like okay. Yoko, eyes are beautiful. Thank you. Power of makeup or not? I don't know. Do I know any Japanese JSTF? Japan Self-Defense Force? Huh? What's that A? Sorry, just read. Why are Asian women so much more beautiful than Western women? What do they say in English? The grass is so much greener on the other side or on the next door or whatever. We find what we don't have attractive. So like whenever I see like, blonde girl or blonde guys, I'm like, whoa. Like that's like whoa. Like how does that happen? Like wow, like I have to like analyze. I've had white boyfriends back in the day. And even though they were my boyfriends, I was like so interesting, like I was analyzing the structure. Yeah. Man, maybe let's go for 10 more minutes or so, and I should call it a night. It's 2. Can you see? 2! Yeah. 聞いているだけで英語得意にはならんかな。ちゅうかブロークンやし。ブロークンなので、はい、こんな時間にライブ配信でございます。だって時差があるからね。オーマイガッド。Oh yes, Shin Godzilla. There's a Godzilla movie called Shin Godzilla, and yes, I heard that it was inspired by Fukushima. So it's interesting. Yeah, and some of us in Japan are saying like, oh, our government is so much like what was depicted in the movie Shin Godzilla. Speaking of movie, tonight I wanted to feel lighter, right? Like I keep watching the Twitter feed and so on, keeping up with the news. And my husband and I, after I made a curry today, Indian style. So my kitchen smells like Indian today. Not racist. So after that, we watched a movie together, and we chose Pixels. Did you see? It was so much fun. It was so American. And my husband was having a good time watching the movie, But I think I was laughing at the different places because it was so America, like the culture wise. So funny. こら、外人の悪口言わないみんな仲間ですからね。Do I still practice piano? No. But you know what? I can play anytime. Like I never. Oh, I wonder if I can play on this. I have a GarageBand on here. I can play something for you maybe on this. Downloading my song. Might take a while. Oh, A for Air Force. Self-Defense Force here and Air Force. I knew somebody that was from there who was a candidate for our gubernatorial election back in 2014. And yeah, but conservatives here fight inside a lot. I'm not sure if spies are mingled and cause division, or if people are just stupid. I don't know, but conservatives here fight a lot. So yeah, it included like self-defense force people too. Can you hear? I actually don't know the song. I can't remember. Yeah. Wait, who's fighting here? Not sure. My Japanese trolls are here. Never mind them, okay? Japan is lovely and beautiful country. Thank you. I'll let our people know. Star Wars, yes. So I want to practice, but I set up my keyboard so I can, but somehow I'm concentrating on politics. Pixels was hilarious. A good. Oh, where did he go? Adam Sandler movie is Waterboy. Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler. Can't remember which one. But yeah, the movie Pixels was so funny. It was actually interesting. So the movie Pixels, which we saw together tonight. So basically, it shows the kids in the 80s, right? And then growing up in the 80s, playing the old-fashioned games, and then it comes to the reality in a way like after decades. And it's interesting because how movies like that come, like how it is published today, like lots of 80s things or early 90s things are coming back right now. And some people, like, was it Paul Watson? I don't know his name actually. Paul something he has the British accent from InfoWars. He was pointing out in his video, like I watched the video a long time ago, but I saw him pointing out how, there are lots of revival going on, like Full House becoming Fuller House, and Gilmore Girls coming back again, and so on. And he was saying like, oh, we don't have culture anymore, and we have to use the old times. But how I see it is that right now, those who are in charge of the society, like those who are not really in charge, but we're, people in the 30s, 40s who grew up in the 80s or 90s we are adults now, and we're kind of remembering the teenage days and so on, and we bring back our memories and into make it into life. And so there are lots of things related to the 80s and 90s, and as somebody that grew up in those times, it's so much fun. That I realized that, oh, like people in my age, around my age, are now capable of doing things in our society today, and that's amazing, you know. Pro cannabis. Oh, you're talking about the drug? Pro cannabis. Again, I don't know the pronunciation, but marijuana kind of drug, I believe. There is pro movement, but it's done by leftists because they are associating that with like reggae and like a hippie type of things. And even though traditionally, though, Japan had that plant, but I think it was banned after the World War II, like because it was highly associated with our culture and so on, and it can be really helpful for our society. So, but I'm not an expert on that, so I'm not sure. You know what? I'm gonna block this person. Or can I? Oh, I can. I'll make him. Okay. Oh yeah, weed. In short, it's weed. True. But the thing about weed is that I've never tried it. You know, so I can't do anything about it. Like, I don't know. What would you do? No. Yeah, there's this controversy about all these plants and so on. So we have to be careful. But I guess though that I should get going very soon. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. It means a lot to me. I don't know what you guys are up to though. Like, are you at home? Like, I don't know. Like, I want to make videos, but I don't know if I should make like regular videos or hang out with you guys more, or it's very hard to tell the situation. Oh, just randomly remember that this amazing woman that I met at CPAC both in Japan and South Korea, named Sarah Carter. She's a contributor to Fox News. Sarah, difficult name. Sarah Carter. She has a live streaming now, I think. I saw that the other day. Maybe, I don't know if she will do that again and again, but she has a YouTube channel too, together with her Facebook. So just wanted to give you guys the shout out for that, because it's important to follow cool people. Okay. Thank you for wishing all the good things about Japan. Yep. Whew. Okay. I feel like I achieved something by this live stream just because I talked to you guys. Yeah. You're drawing? That's awesome. I should draw too. There are my drawings available on Etsy, so please purchase if you can. I already put the link in the description box, so let's check it out. Okay, so I'm really not good at saying byes, but I can't believe that there are people watching me. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed Are you in Japan? Yes, I am. Called Fukuoka Prefecture. In short, like airport code is FUK. That's where I live, FUK. And there are like FUK cafe too, so funny. Yes, I want to do it more often. Maybe tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, you never know. I have Monday live streaming, but aside from that, I might come back again. So, okay, I'm gonna go now. So thank you guys so much for watching, and let's catch up again. And follow me on Twitter, okay? I'll miss you guys, and you should miss me too. So talk to me on Twitter at Random Yoko. Easy to find, okay? And I put all the links in the description box. I wonder if like anybody ever opens that, but I put things there. So thank you. Take care, guys. Okay, you'll see me soon enough. So thanks for hanging out with me. Okay, I'm gonna go to bed after washing the dishes. Okay, bye.